I'm Jason, and this is the American Dream Car Show. All right, so in this episode of the American, were we recording?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Is that what the red light is?
Hi, is this working?
Something. One of these things is not like the other one. We're rolling. Do you want to get started?
Yeah, let's get started. On this episode, we decided to take a trip through time, and Jake, I could say that we learned a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, especially as someone who spends most of their time behind a camera and not behind a wheel, it was very educational for me personally.
We started our journey at the museum. For 3 generations, the Dodge Challenger has been a vehicle loved by its owners. Right here we got a 2015 model, and this is a special car. It was built on Season 2, Episode 1 of Toy Makers. Under the hood, 809 horsepower going to the rear wheels. How does it do that? With a first-of-its-kind Edo Brock supercharger. It's a Hemi, and it is a bad boy. Nearby Newburgh, Indiana, we found another bad Challenger. We just spent some time hanging out with our Challenger in the museum and just happened to find another one in Newburgh, Indiana. And it's not every day you meet a car that's been in a magazine, but Larry Rose right here is the guy that owns this vehicle. Larry, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you, Jason?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for letting us come out and see this beautiful car. I want you to tell me a little bit about it. What's the background on this? In 1970, correct?
Yes, I've had it for 30 years.
This 1970 Challenger didn't start the way it is currently,
I've
correct?
just been fixing it up over the years, last 30 years, and I've done different engine combinations throughout the years. When the Hellcat come out, I thought that's the next engine I want in it.
And how did you find it?
Central Illinois, when I was probably 12 or 13 going to Grandma's house, I used to see it. The color just caught my eye, and I used to see it sitting along the side of the road.
Wait, so you've had this car since you were a kid?
Yes.
Now that's cool. So what was the engine like originally in this vehicle?
It was good back in the day, but it only had 335 horsepower.
Which is a pretty big engine. Now, we're quite a bit more now. How bad is this cat?
This is around 760, 775.
760 horsepower. This thing can probably purr, this Hellcat, right?
Oh yeah, yep. Every year I wanted to go faster. Speed drives me, and it seemed like every few years I wanted to do something else.
So Larry, this is your pride and joy, I'm guessing. So how did it find its way into this magazine?
Well, I was at Mopar Nationals last year with it, and put it on a dyno, and some guys took a look at it and asked if I would want to feature it in the magazine.
It's beautiful. I bet it's a lot of fun to drive.
A whole lot of fun to drive. It's a handful.
All right, now Larry, you said handful. What exactly does that mean? I mean, are you saying like not everybody could drive a car like this?
Right. There's a lot of Hellcats being wrecked. And in fact, the place I got this engine, they've got their 50th Hellcat that's been totaled. People with money think they can buy a car like this, and they don't know how to handle the power.
All right, so you say it's a handful. Is it worth getting out on the road today, you think?
Sure.
You want to tackle this handful? Sure. Let's go. Awesome cars, great people, fun stories. I love the automotive world. I thought it was so cool learning about the difference between a new and an old Challenger. Man.
Oh yeah, well, and that was a sweet burnout.
Wasn't it though? After that, we decided to hang out with a couple of guys from the Dream Car Museum. So we're here at the Dream Car Museum, and a big part of running a museum is the people that help run it. I'm here with a few fine gentlemen. I'd like for you guys to introduce yourselves if you would.
Yeah, my name's Eddie.
My name's Josh.
And my name's Shane.
And when we're running the Dream Car Museum, these guys help make it happen. And since we were talking about the history, and of course the museum has a lot of history in it, thought it'd be cool for us to talk about that stuff if you guys don't mind. So Shane, let's start with you.
All right, so today I have for you Dodge News magazines. And so in the 50s, you didn't have all the outlets of medias that you have today.
It's true.
You had very little going into television, and you basically had radio and print being your basic outlets for your advertising. Today, we have millions of dollars going into social media such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, endless opportunities.
Right.
And back then, they really were reliant on things such as print.
So it seems like these guys had to take what they had and use it to the best advantage.
You're exactly right. And this wasn't just all about the cars. This was an interesting read, offered lifestyle, travel destinations, and even recipes.
Very, very cool. So where did you acquire these magazines?
So I got them from my grandmother. She recently passed, and we were going through her items at her house, and we stumbled upon these. And she was, as little as she wanted to admit it, she was a huge car person.
So I guess we owe her a big debt of gratitude for saving these. Thank you for sharing. All right, so Eddie, on that note, history in the museum through the decades, huh?
You know, I can actually remember in high school, and right out of high school, having cars, museum quality cars of today.
But you
And-
still wish you had some of them.
Oh, definitely. You know, those cars in excess. Normally they rate them 350 to 400 horsepower.
Right.
And, cars today. You can buy a new Challenger, Dodge Demon, over 800 horsepower. A terrific car, very, very fast car.
It's wild. The more things change, the more they stay the same, though. You still got wheels and tires and engines, right?
100%.
And these cars, they speak to such a history. They really do. Starting when?
Jason, we're going to start actually in 1912.
All the way up to that 2018 you referred to.
All the way up to 2018. Something for everybody.
Car for everybody. And so speaking of cars through the decades, Josh, it seems to me there's one decade in particular that's a little different in the automotive world.
Yeah, that would actually be the 1940s, and especially the early 40s.
So what made the 40s a different decade?
Well, mainly it was because we were involved in World War II.
Oh, okay, I see. So that affected the automotive industry in a bad way, I guess?
Well, it would actually surprise you, but they did fairly well during the war.
No, why would you say that?
Well, they weren't just producing vehicles for the military, but they were producing different aspects of things for the military.
Interesting. So what kind of things were these guys producing?
Here in Evansville, Chrysler produced almost 96% of the military's .45 caliber ammunition rounds.
No kidding.
Specifically north from here, it actually would be up around Detroit. It would be a factory that was built solely to produce tanks.
Wow, so you've got the automotive industry helping out the war effort, but not with cars. Very interesting. A nice history lesson here at the Dream Car Museum. So on behalf of these guys, Eddie, Josh, and Shane, thank you for watching. And if you happen to be in the area, come see them at the Dream Car Museum. So, you ready to get out and explore a little bit?
Where are we going again?
I thought we'd start a little close to home. Small town USA, Mount Vernon.
Okay.
I just thought we'd go explore. I really like when I'm out and about, seeing like the small town square and, find a cool diner to grab a sandwich at.
You're just saying you have no plan.
I think that's what makes it so much fun, is you never know what you're gonna find if you just go out and look for it.
Well, maybe you should get a job at Hallmark writing motivational cards.
Well, maybe you should put on some khakis and go sell insurance.
Hey, that's too far. We talked about this.
Okay.
Never again.
I like the small town.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Are those signs in the window up there?
I think so.
Yeah, I see some neon.
Wait, is that a buffalo?
All right, Jake, I think we found the place we're looking for. Gerton Auto Sales, but I'm also seeing some travel trailers. We gotta go inside and see what's going on, right? Going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go?
Still.
What? It's fun.
Okay, well, it'll go further if you put the key in it. What exactly are you exploring now?
This road right here, the street, Mount Vernon. It's a great, big, beautiful world. Get out and see it.
You're so cheesy.
Hey,
What?
cut it out or I'm gonna turn this thing around. right, so on the outside you're seeing cars and Winnebagos, and on the inside we got the hot rod. Man, what's going on here?
We got a little bit of everything. Hey, I'm John.
I'm Jason. John, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All right, so we were on the road. We saw
Yep.
the signs that you had on, and we had to come in and see what the story was here. So can you fill us in?
Well, we've got a little bit of everything that's fun on the road. This is a historic dealership. My wife and I run it. We got classic cars, Highline late model cars, and of course the new and used RVs, motorized and towable.
You mentioned old dealership.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, this dealership was built about the turn of the 1900s as a Studebaker Oldsmobile store. They added a second story portion in the 20s as a Chevrolet Hudson and Essex store. And it stayed Chevrolet all the way up through the early 60s when my mom and dad moved in here with an office machine business.
Oh, they went a little off the road.
They were the first non-car dealers in this store.
And then you brought it back around, it sounds like.
Came all the way back around, and my wife and I bought it in 2009, started the renovation, and here we are.
I love hearing the history, and obviously this is a big part of your life, it sounds like, too.
It is. It's a huge part of my life, and we got everything that's a lot of fun on the road. On the road is where you want to be. It's good to travel. It brings your family together. You can have a good time doing it, and quite frankly, it gives you a breather.
Everything with the history of this building, the things you've got going on here in this, really awesome community. If you had something to share with us that, is kind of like that really, that's the thing right there, what would it be about the dealership?
It would have to be our second story showroom. Back in the day, car dealers had a second story showroom or second story body shop, and we just completed that about Christmas.
I would love to see that.
Let's go.
John, just look at this place. The signs, you got the travel trailers on display. I mean, I love the eye appeal of this room. I mean, the classic style of like the brick with the neon on it. It probably was very close to what it looked like back in the day.
Very, very close. It turned out better than we anticipated it would. This was actually what sold us on the building when we bought it.
Well, I can see why. I mean, and the color of the trailers pops in this old time brick,
It
right?
does, and everyone comes up here. They love the way it looks. They love the way the signs show up, and at night it's really impressive.
I can see why. Now, what's going on with this car?
What we have here is a 1929 Ford Model A Roadster. Beautifully done, older restoration, and actually about the same vintage as the gas pump you saw in the showroom that belonged to my grandfather.
The Conoco downstairs.
Conoco pump downstairs.
So that belonged to your grandfather?
Yes, he had a gas station in Henderson, Kentucky. He actually used that gas pump till the day he died in 1975.
Are you kidding?
Never had an electric pump.
He was probably pumping gas in the cars just like this
Oh
one.
yeah, for years.
I love the local history and the feel of this and the fact that the dealership is still here and you're
Right.
still getting use out of it today. A lot of these buildings will get knocked down. They'll
Yeah.
find, where they just push them to the side, and you've taken something and revitalized it.
Well, we did a lot of work here. The building was structurally sound, but had been empty for many, many years. Every room was just full. I walked in here the day we signed the papers and just looked around and wondered, what have I done?
What have I done? You and your wife have done this together, and I think that's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah, Jill and I work together every day. In fact, she was kind of responsible for us buying this building. She saw the vision and we ran with it.
Well, Jill's got a good eye, and man, thank you so much for showing us.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming in.
John was a great guy to hang out with, had a blast. The old dealership turned into a new dealership. Really cool to see.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was a big fan of the cat.
The cat was great. We headed up to Crawfordsville, Indiana right after that. All right, so just inside these doors, the Route 32 auction is about to begin. I'm excited. There's tons of memorabilia, tons of signs, gas pumps, all kinds of cool stuff. Let's get inside and see if we can buy something neat. Oh my gosh, the first item has now sold. Route 32 auction is underway. Jake, around us is all kinds of crazy stuff. Let's go check it out. All right, so this is what we just were able to get. It's a beautiful sign. Can't wait to see it in the museum. It's a Brunswick Tires, and it's perfect. Very, very cool. Right over here, a Welch Motor Oil Company. We also got this one too. Great stuff for the museum. We're here with Kevin right now, and Kevin, we were able to pull you away for just a second from the auction. This is an exciting day. Guys, if you haven't been to a Route 32 auction, definitely check it out. What's your favorite thing about this day?
Oh, I think just seeing the excitement on the folks coming in, the buzz and the adrenaline of the auction itself.
Doesn't matter if it's $100 or $100,000. It gets exciting, doesn't it?
Not at all, yeah.
All right, so what's the coolest piece that we've got in here today?
The nicest one to me is it's a square porcelain double-sided piece. It's called Best Quartz. It's a scenery of a mountain with a car and a house and a garage. And it's just very detailed, very beautiful piece.
All right, we're definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
And you need to check out Route 32 Auctions. Find pots of gold at the end of a rainbow. I think there might be a chance we could find some rusty gold right inside this nondescript building. We've arrived here at Route 32 Restorations. Oh man, look at this place. I see why I wanted us to swing by. I mean, take a look at the signs. Oh, right here underneath this looks like we might have a car underneath here, soda machines, coin-operated machines, some carnival rides. Kevin, you here, buddy? Hey, there he is.
What's going on, man?
What is going on, my friend?
Oh, just trying to make a little money today.
Good to see you,
How are you
pal.
doing?
Man, I gotta tell you, there's so much stuff here.
We got a little bit of everything here.
So tell me what Route 32 Restorations is all about.
This is our restoration shop, Route 32 Restorations.
Okay.
Been in business going on 10 years now. We started off simple, you know, just kind of doing our own thing. We went from transitioned from cars and got into the gas and oil memorabilia.
Yeah.
Gas pumps, air meters, everything associated with that from, like you see a kiddie ride right here, Steve's working on.
And that's just it. Based on the world that we live in, I mean, we've been out exploring and we found that there's so much going on in the automotive world. I mean, there's the cars, of course, which are central, but then there's the travel, the gas stations people stop at, the places they go and the things they do. The automotive industry is spread out so much in lifestyle that it is everything, like you said, from those kiddie rides.
From little kid toys, clear up to an actual car that you can drive, and everything in between.
Well, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what race or religion you are, it really doesn't matter if you're male, female, there's something for everybody.
Well, if you think about it, you know, gas oil is involved in everybody's life in one way or the other. I mean, you're either working in that industry or you're driving a car. You got to stop and get gas. You got to work on your engines.
Right.
We all drive automobiles. It doesn't matter if you drove one in the 20s or in the 2000s.
If you're 16 or you're 80.
Yeah, so everybody loves automobile stuff.
And what I found also is that it doesn't just start out museum quality perfect, does it?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I mean, especially a lot of this stuff is getting, you know, even my age. You know, I'm 56. You know, you think of the toys that I played with, they're over 50 years old now.
Right.
Think about even beyond that. So a lot of this stuff is getting to be 100 years old.
I'd like to see how something gets from, you know, point A to point B. Would you care to take us along for a ride?
Absolutely, let's do it. Okay, Steve, let's pull this off so these guys can take a good look at what something in the middle of project here. Jason, here's a great example of just a great project, some of our restoration work. This is a 57 Corvette we bought several years ago from the Bob McDormand collection over in Columbus, Ohio. And we decided to resto mod this thing. We've got it through the paint and body process.
Right.
As you can see, we did a really quality paint job on this, body work and everything.
It's an incredible paint job. This is obviously, it's not a stock color.
No,
right?
not at all.
And but that makes it really unique.
Absolutely. You get this out in the sun and the metal flake in this thing, and it's like it's got a shimmer on it.
Now you mentioned something resto mod. I mean, so what are we doing here?
It's basically, it's not going back to its original state.
Okay.
So we're modifying it, different paint job, different engine,
I see.
different suspension, those kinds of things. So basically it's something that doesn't go back to the original state. But yeah, you can see it's just the shell right now. The upholstery's getting done. We have the engine, motor will be going in, training, wiring harness. We're two-thirds of the way through on this project.
All right, so when you get something like this done, obviously you spend a lot of time with it, it gets kind of close to you. I mean, hard to part with, I bet.
Sometimes. Sometimes they don't all go away.
Where do you see this one ended up? Because I mean, this is a gorgeous car.
This one will probably go into the museum, our showroom, which is on a different building from here.
Kevin, I really want to go see the showroom, but first I kind of want to see a few more things in works. You know, get down to the bare bones of it all.
Yeah, let's go out to the boneyard. That'll be a great place for you to start. You can see a vast array of products, and it'll get us started at the ground floor, and we work our way up to the finished product.
Sweet, the boneyard. Let's go.
All right, Jason, here's where part of the boneyard. I'll get this door open for you so you can have a better view here. Get an idea of a few pumps, gas pumps we got. Ready for restoration.
This is super cool, man. That's absolutely
Isn't that
awesome.
rusty and crusty?
So what's their story? I mean, what's going on with these two in particular?
These are very relatable gas pumps. One's a simplex, one's a duplex.
Okay, so for the guy that doesn't know, what's the difference though?
Well,
'Cause I'm not seeing it right off the bat.
They look very similar. The biggest difference is your sight glasses. You know,
Okay.
you got one on what I would call internal here. You have one on what we call external, outside of. And back in the day, when fuel was very early on, fuel was very dirty. It would cause a lot of engine problems on cars and vehicles. So what they would do, what they came up with, is that you could physically see the fuel before it goes into your car to see how dirty it was.
You know, something about pumping in the gas nowadays, we really don't have a clue what's going in because now we're just pumping it straight into the vehicle, and I guess it's because they've got it fine-tuned. I mean,
We have regulations. Every pump's inspected, fuel's inspected. There's so many regulations now, so they've taken care of that in a different way.
and you've got a wide variety here. It's like from this to this guy, the red one right here, completely different look.
And a different era too. This is what we call like an Art-Deco pump.
Okay.
See how it's designed?
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
looks like that from the Art Deco period.
Well, and people would do it like in their kitchens and their dining rooms and with their cars too, right?
Absolutely. Again, you got a side glass here. You're still in that era where the fuel still wasn't quite regulated. This would be in 30s into the 40s
Okay.
era.
What about, it looks like we got a St. Clair here. What about these?
As you can see, side glass gets even smaller. You got a little small side glass here. It wasn't as big a problem as it was back then.
But they still want to give people the peace of mind, I'm assuming.
You can take any gas pump, most gas pumps, and they made them in different styles. Like this one here, these are the add glass versions, so you could put Sinclair, Shell, different ways of promoting.
Okay, so basically the same type of pump, but you could put your own brand in?
Yeah, you could market it however you wanted.
So the company that manufactured the pump
Yep.
then could sell it to the gas company.
Exactly. Back then, gas stations would change products quite regularly, not like it is today.
Really? So there wasn't necessarily a brand loyalty. It was
Absolutely.
whatever best deal we have right now, swap out that glass and
You just swap out the glass, you don't have to swap out the whole pump. These are your visibles. These are actually these are earlier than the pumps we've just looked at.
Okay.
So few different styles of visible pumps. So here, the gas, you'd pump it and it would be all in here, and then you turn a valve, you'd open this valve, and the gas would just come out of the hose.
That's the gravity fed stuff.
Gravity
I've heard about.
fed, absolutely.
And this was kind of a nice appearance here.
Absolutely, reminds you of a woman, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got some nice curves.
So that's what they refer to as a Mae West Fry visible gas pump.
I like this one too right here. It kind of has that regal, very, grandfather clock appearance.
It does. This is a Wayne 60. This is probably one of the most popular pumps out there right now that everybody wants. Again, different pumps had different styles. This is what you call a computer face. They have a clock face. They had wide versions, they had narrow versions of this. So each gas pump has its own flavor to it.
As we've been saying, something for everyone.
Jason, let's come in here. We got a lot of different product in here compared to building 1 and 2.
Do. Oh,
Absolutely.
Coca-Cola.
Coke.
Everybody drinks it.
Everybody loves a Coke. I mean, how many commercials do you still see on TV about Coke?
Oh, there's probably 20 or 30 a day on
Exactly.
any channel you're watching.
Yeah.
It's Americana at its finest.
Absolutely, and very early Americana. And not just America, but all across the world.
You're right, it's worldwide, kind of
Yeah.
like having fun is, and it looks like, is that a midget racer ride right there?
Isn't that cool?
It really
Look at
is
that thing.
cool, man.
I mean, look
oh,
at
and it's a kiddie ride.
Yeah, it's a kiddie ride. That'd be fun to ride, wouldn't it?
It would be
Even
fun.
as
I
kids.
mean, if you're a kid, you're getting to do something you're probably seeing on TV and seeing your parents do. That's
We're
neat.
growing up, we still think it's cool.
I think it's awesome. The sweet little motorcycle right here.
Now that's a project I'm excited to do. I've had that put away for quite a while. That's a 2-seater motorcycle. We're going to turn that into a kiddie ride.
There's just so much stuff to see.
Yeah.
Is that an elephant?
Yes, it is.
All right, so where would something like this have been?
Oh, several different locations, department stores, grocery stores, shoe stores, places where parents want to keep their kids
Busy for a few minutes.
get their attention span on something particular.
And there's all kinds of different things in here. I'm seeing some stuff we haven't seen quite yet.
Yeah, some newer gas pumps. Here's a good example. This is newer gas pump.
What would you say, 70s, 80s? kind of
60s,
type?
70s,
60s,
80s.
70s, 80s?
These is what we refer to as the muscle car pumps.
Oh, so you'd have been filling up like your Camaros, your Trans Ams, your Chevelle with
Yep.
this guy right here.
These guys right here. Nice blend, Sunoco blend pump.
Now that's cool.
And with a higher octane gasoline.
So you can
too.
get a little faster,
A little
right? Get
faster,
going.
cleaner for your car.
All right, so I'm seeing all these unique items, Kevin, and I've kind of had a thought. I've been inspired, mostly because of the elephant.
Well, I can see why.
And I'm thinking it would be really amazing if we could find something completely unique and different that could make its way into the Dream Car Museum.
Well, I think I got something that you really like. We got a project we're getting ready to start. We're getting ready to pull out and get it in the process line for the restoration. Very unique, kind of a one of a kind that not too many people have ever seen before.
I'd love to take a look.
I think it's something you guys would really like.
All right,
Let's
go.
do it. Let's do it. Come over here, Jason. Let me show you this piece we was talking about out there in the boneyard.
Oh, this is pretty unique, man.
This is something you won't see every day. It's a fire truck. Isn't that cool?
Oh my gosh, it is. It's got the bell and all.
Oh, it works. I'm just estimating probably mid to late 30s into early 40s. You know, some great features. It's got the ladder. These are actually original hand-carved firemen. This is part of what makes this ride. These are so hard to find, especially in this condition. They're made of wood.
That's
And
impressive. So what are you thinking about this fire truck? What would you do with it?
it's endless what we could do. If it was mine, if I was just to restore it, put it in line and then take it in our showroom, I would probably go back to as original as a fire truck, do the red and the black. We'd brass the bell out, get it back looking original as possible. And then we'd go into, you know, chrome or nickel plate.
Yeah, that
steering
would look
wheels,
great.
Some of the trim.
All right, I'm kind of thinking Dream Car Museum down the side.
I like where you're going with that.
I feel like this is something Larry's gonna really like. I think this guy needs to make its way to the museum.
Well, we would love to do something like this for the museum. Dream Car Museum's a great customer of ours. We've been down there many times. Enjoy going every time I do, see something new.
I tell you what, Kevin, I would really like to go see this showroom.
I'd love for you to see it too. It'd give you a good idea what it's like from our boneyard, going through the process to the finished product.
Kevin, just taking a look around right now. This place is something else. I'm blown away, man.
We have a lot of fun here, a lot of fun.
I bet you spend a lot of hours here.
Well, it's a passion. It's a passion.
I mean, that's the thing about this is it's kind of like that old saying, if you do a job that you enjoy, it's never work.
That's exactly right. You know, a great example is, you know, we was talking about some of our restoration, and you know, here's one of the pumps that would have come straight out of our boneyard.
Yeah, this was just like what we saw earlier.
Exactly. The example of the rusty and crusty. Through our whole restoration process, we can take something from this shape and turn it into this piece over here.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Which
Look
is
at
like
that.
the brother of this. It's the same style of pump, just a finished product.
Top to bottom too, inside and outside?
Inside and out, every facet you can think of. This has been restored. Nice clear glass, cleared the globe, new hose. You know, this is a great example of what we can do, what we was talking about the fire truck for Dream Car Museum.
Oh, I'm so excited to see it from
Yeah.
your signs, the gas pumps. We've got the memorabilia, the cars. It's just like we said earlier. I mean, there literally is something for everybody in this business.
And they all relate to each other. They all come together. I mean, we can take something you've seen the condition it was in and make it look brand new, even nicer than this.
Man, thank you so much for having us. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Been a pleasure for me too. Come back anytime, Jason.
Thanks. We had a great time on our walk through history. On the next episode, we hit the road and go off the road.